Okay, so my garlic has just started to brown. To that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of drained capers. It was a little bit more than 2 tablespoons because it was the bottom of the jar, but you know, does anybody really care about that? Give that a stir. We're going to add a half a cup of roughly chopped Kalamata olives. Give that a stir. And you just want to let this cook for a couple minutes, or a couple seconds I should say, just so those flavors develop nicely. You know, sauces are all about the flavors marrying. And when you give them a few seconds to cook together, to come together, is when it happens. Now at this stage, I add a little bit of extra than what the recipe calls for. Once the pot is nice and warm, I usually add, come on now, technical difficulties, let me tell you. I usually add 2 anchovy fillets at this part. And then just a little bit of that oil. I'm making a tuna Puttanesca, so why not bump it up? And to those of you who say, oh, anchovies, I don't like anchovies. No, really, you do. You don't like that fishy taste. But with this pot, as hot as it is, you just give it a couple stirs, and really quickly, those anchovy fillets break down, and it's just going to be a real nutty flavor to it. It's actually going to mimic some of that toasted garlic flavor. And who doesn't like more flavor than less flavor? Oh my God, that smells amazing. Quick, rinse my hands off. Now this is when it just starts to go so quickly. To this, it called for 4 leaves of basil. And the basil that I have, which I bought whole, is kind of smaller leaves, so I'm just going to tear a couple off of that. My mom and I really love the taste of basil, so she won't complain. I'm not going to complain. To that, I'm now going to add my tuna straight from a can. I don't use whole pieces or anything. And I always use, for this recipe especially, tuna that's in olive oil. Because I just think it has more flavor. Yes, it's not as healthy, but oh well. And again, just let this go for a couple minutes. I break the tuna up. Smells so good. And then I add a 20-ounce can of San Marzano tomatoes that I actually kind of pulled the tomatoes apart so it's chunky with their sauce. And really, it's that simple. So now this is going to cook. I'm actually right at this point going to transfer it from the stove top into my slow cooker. And I'm going to let that cook all day on low. Tonight when I serve dinner, the house will smell like this sauce, and it's just wonderful. Now what I also like about making pasta, sauces, is there's always some left over at the end of the day, which I pack for lunch. People are always like, oh, you're always packing. Well, no, duh, I'm always packing. I control what went into it. I know it's quality products. I know that there's not a ton of salt in there. I know there's not a ton of bad stuff. Folks, if you like this video, please follow me on my YouTube channel, Style by Joe. You can also follow me at Instagram at Style You by Joe. My Facebook is still Style You by Joe. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Drop me a comment if you want to talk about this or you want to see something else. Let me know. Folks, stay stylish, and I'll talk to you soon.